If you are not taking advantage of the 50% rule, especially if you are an option seller, you are leaving gains on the table. In today's video, I'm going to show you a live trade that I leveraged the 50% rule on. Yo, what's going on, Premium Chasers? I hope you're having an absolutely God-blessed day. Special giveaway. Everyone's going to get the 50% rule ebook guide, which is perfect to accompany today's video. No strings attached. You already know. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, drop a comment, and you're going to get that free ebook sent to you tomorrow. But guys, today we're talking about the 50% rule. If you ain't using it as an option seller, you're leaving premium and juice on the table, and it's so simple to implement into your option selling strategy. And we got a lot to catch up on, guys. It's been a hell of a week. So let's go over the shoulder real quick. So obviously, guys, you already know I have two positions right now. Actually, you probably don't know, but I have two positions right now on SoFi. I have a cash secured put expiring tomorrow on the 28th for $26.05. That basically is saying I'm willing to buy 100 shares of SoFi on the 28th if it's trading at $26.50 or below. Fantastic. And then I also have a covered call that says I'm willing to sell 100 shares of SoFi at $28 on the 28th. This is called the covered strangle, right? We calling it the Peter strangle. Okay, but all jokes aside, right? This is a covered strangle right here that I have positions open on with my weeklies that I'm doing on SoFi, and we could see that on the live trade log, right? You see how I have those two entries right here. This is the premium I collected. Here's my ROI on my collateral. My ROI on collateral, obviously, guys, is going to differ for you, and not financial advice. Speak to a financial advisor. But the way I'm doing this is dividing my premium divided by the collateral that I am locking up. So in this case, I'm locking up 100 shares on my covered call side, which my average cost basis is $26.81 for my 100 shares that I'm willing to sell for 28, and then my 26.50 is locked up for my 26.50s. All right, Pete, you got your calls, you got your puts. What's this 50% rule? Because I'm going to show you right now. All right, so yesterday morning, and I usually, one of my big rules with selling options, I usually wait for an hour of the day. But yesterday, SoFi was up like 3%, right? And I was like, you know what? I really just need to get a quick put in, right? Like, so what I actually ended up doing was I opened up at open, right? Because I had a cash secured put that expired on Friday. You can see here, my 24.50 expired. I captured the full premium on that weekly, which is fantastic. But yesterday, all right, I see SoFi starts moving on us like 2-3% at open. Ended up closing close to 9% at the close yesterday. But with that said, what I did is I quickly opened up a $25 put that expires on Friday. And you could see that here on my order, right? I opened up this SoFi 25 put 11/28, right? Friday's expiration, 4 days away, essentially 3 days away. And I collected $43.95 of premium, okay? And you can see I have that listed here, right here, $43.95 of premium. Also, if you guys want my trade log, you want my calculators, attend the Ark Options Strategy workshop, especially if you're a beginner and you're trying to take your option selling to the next level. Click that first link and you'll get this all these free resources at the end. You can follow along with me and then obviously clone this for yourself and use it for yourself, right? It's really key to track your trades. I cannot stress it enough, and there's only so much I can fit into a 10-minute YouTube video here for you. But with that said, I collected $43.95 of premium, right? The day is going on. The day keeps going. We're nearing at close, right? A couple hours after I opened this position, and SoFi is trading around like 7%, around 7% for the day, right? Which to me, I'm like, okay, absolutely perfect. So what I ended up doing was buying to close my position out early. Now, it wasn't an ideal scenario. I could have waited this thing out to go to Friday and, if I really wanted to own SoFi and I really wanted to take my chances. But for me, you guys know, I treat this like a business. I'm in and out. I'm trying to get in and out as quickly as possible. Not a day trader, but sometimes it happens, right? So what I was able to see is I was able to close my position out for $15.04. And you could see that right here. I tried to get it out at 14, waited a little bit, was not getting filled at 14, ended up canceling that out, and I was like, screw it, I will close it at 15, which gives me, I was 15 percentage wise, right? 15 is about 34% of $44 right here. So that is over my 50% rule. So how does the 50% rule work? If I'm able to capture 50% of my premium, so in this case, let's just say simple math because the boy's simple. If I'm able to close this out for $20, right, in the same day or even the next 2 or 3 days and capture 50% of my premium, right, I will close it out. Now, this rule is totally dependent on your expiration date, right? So usually if I'm doing a weekly and I'm able to get in and out in a day or two, I will do it if I can capture 50% of my premium. Because think about it, guys. Now I got this $2,500 back, right? And what did I do? What did I do immediately with that $2,500 back? I immediately opened another cash secured put, right, for about $40 of an additional $40 of premium, right? Now, obviously, I take on a little bit more risk here because I may have to buy SoFi at $26.50, but I don't care, right? I love SoFi, right? So for me, that was the ideal play, and especially in a few hours to capture almost 70% of my total premium. That blows past the 50% rule. So here's kind of the rule of thumb that I follow with the 50% rule. If it's a weekly, it's a day or two. Otherwise, I'm going to let it ride, right? It's nice when it happens in the day, though. I'll tell you that. There ain't no better feeling. It doesn't happen often, but it does. You know, we aren't options buyers. Our world ain't so fast-paced. We ain't the Picassos, right? But the second option is if you're doing the monthlies. If in that first week, I'm captured about 50% of that premium, I am closing that thing early, right? And then every subsequent one, I'm usually waiting a little bit more. So for example, I just closed out actually CAG right here, my Conagra Brands, right? And you could see, right, I captured my total ROI here. This was a strict ROI play, was a 2.55% ROI on my collateral. And I freed up my capital, my $1,700 here that you're seeing in a week and a half early. Right? So yes, I will 100% do that. So you kind of have, I kind of always look at two North Stars, right? I usually am looking at. So I'm looking at either number one, you guys know my number one rule is ROI on collateral. What's my ROI on collateral? For me, I do my best to hit at least 2% ROI collateral on my trades per month. So I had the wiggle room here, whether I get to 50% or not. Obviously, I captured way over 50% of the premium on this, but I captured 2.5% ROI on my collateral, which to me is the number one rule. Okay. Now in the weeklies, what am I looking for weeklies? Weeklies, I'm a little bit more aggressive. I'm borderline. I'm not saying day trader. I'm not a day trader, but I'm closer to that because there's more management involved. Like I'm trading more. I'm watching the charts a little bit more. I'm staying in tune with the news a little bit more, right? I'm getting in and getting out, right? A lot faster, right? So in this case, right, with this SoFi cash secured put that I closed in and out in the same day, it was a no-brainer for me. A no-brainer to make 1.16% on my money in a matter of a few hours. That is one of my better trades that I've done on this trade log, right? Just because the market gave it to me. And that's what's great about being an option seller, guys, is I'm not chasing anything. I'm just letting the market tell me what to do. When the opportunities show up, I jump into them, right? And that's what makes this strategy absolutely so fantastic. And I believe it's built for everyday life because think about it. If you want to be a little bit more involved, yes, of course you're going to get more gains. It's like, hey, you go to the gym more often. Of course you're going to be more fit than the guy just goes for like, general health purposes, like once or twice a week, right? But somebody, you can always take everything to the next level. And the weeklies for me on SoFi have been so fun, right? So I'm obviously trying to be a little bit more aggressive. I'm being a little bit more quote unquote degenerate. But with my monthlies where I'm going after my boring Conagra Brands, right? Just a boring ass dividend payer, right? I'm not going for a moonshot here, guys. I don't go for moonshots. You know that. I think when people go for moonshots, they end up getting burned. I stick to my boring old reliables here, right? Look, with the Conagra Brands, I don't mind getting assigned that, but I was able to close that out, right? It had a this was a December 5th expiration, a typo with the 3rd, right? So I was able to close that out just about a week and a half early, which I will gladly do, free up my $1,700 now, because guess what? Now I got $1,700 to go jump into another opportunity. Stay tuned for what that opportunity is going to be. So guys, if you want this full trade log, make sure to attend the Ark Options Strategy. In addition to that, you're going to get 2 of my calculators along with this full trade log that you can, of course, copy for yourself. But take a look at these outcomes, guys. Let's go, right? This is how I trade. This is how I trade. This is why I love selling options, because I'm just getting in, I'm getting out. Sometimes I'm getting assigned. 58% of 59%, 58.8 closed early. 59% of my contracts have expired early. Let's just say 60, right? Plus expired worthless, another 6%, 66% of my contracts have been expiring early since the end of June when we started this, right? I've been assigned just about 12% of the time. My shares have been sold just about 12% of the time, right? And then I rolled a couple positions here just about 12% 50% of the time. But that's why I love it, guys. Most of these contracts, as long as you're not playing super close to the money, they end up getting expired and you're simply just walking away with that juicy, juicy premium. So if you want to learn more about this, dive into the 2-hour Ark Options workshop down below. You're going to get all these free bonuses that you're going to be able to walk away with as well, guys. Remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.